Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Industry and Trade and Tourism, Mr. Shane Ali, Consumer Council CEO, Mr. Miller Kumar, Diabetes Fiji Chairman, Dr. Waid Khan, representatives of the consumers and the business community, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome and welcome to you all. Now, while I was sitting here, I realized something dawned on me. Just recently, I was in India on a trip for work, and had the pleasure of visiting a hospital. And there was a slogan at that hospital. And it was some simple words, but extremely important and probably very, very relevant to today. And that slogan said, "Life is precious." And that was in a hospital. And that slogan is carried by every single staff member in the hospital. The reason why I say it, because life is precious. And it is so precious that it needs to be protected. And there needs to be stuff like today that happens to make people aware how precious it is. And it is probably the most precious thing in life. More precious than gems and stones, etc. So with that in mind, I think it's actually very important that this message being delivered today is delivered properly. And thank you for making people aware. It's a pleasure to be here, ladies and gentlemen, to commemorate a day that is dedicated to consumers, to celebrate consumer rights and also recognize the efforts governments have made to ensure that those rights are protected. It is encouraging to see representatives of not only consumers but from the business community and government agencies as well. It is a commitment from all of these sectors that will ensure safe and high quality goods and services. It is a responsibility of the business community to ensure that standards are maintained and provide the goods and services they claim to provide. But you as consumers have an even greater role. You make the choice, and because of this, it is important to make a well thought out choice. The government ensures protection for all Fijians through appropriate laws and measures. Fiji has put in place the Commerce Commission Decree 2010 to not only provide pricing determinations, which eliminates restrictive trade practices, but also provides further consumer protection through provisions on false and misleading representation, misleading advertising, deceptive conduct, to name a few. The Fijian government also funds the Consumer Council of Fiji, which is an advocate and a very strong one for consumers by carrying out consumer awareness and mediating where possible. Ladies and gentlemen, World Consumer Rights Day is an occasion to promote the fundamental rights of the consumers, to ensure that those rights are protected and duly respected by every consumer, trader or business, not only locally but globally. It provides an opportunity to oppose activities of market abuse and social injustice and discriminations. This year's theme for the WCRD is focused on consumer rights to healthy food. And this is why I mentioned about life being precious. Access to healthy food has been and will always be a priority to the Fijian government. This has been evident through various policies such as the reduction of fiscal duty on fruits and vegetables from 32% to 5% to enable all Fijians to have access to a variety of fruits and veggies. The progressive increase of excise duty and other taxes on unhealthy products like tobacco and alcohol to deter consumption of these high-risk items through mandatory labeling of cigarette packets. The reduced duties on food supplements from 32% to 0% so that consumers can have access to essential vitamins and fortifications. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bainimarama government has gone a step further this year with the provision of free medicine for consumers earning less than $20,000. The Free Milk Initiative, which you're all aware of from yesterday, announced by our Honourable Prime Minister yesterday, wherein each and every Year 1 student, more than 20,000 young ones, will receive milk and a serve of wheat bix every morning. These are the policies which will give every Fijian the best chance to lead a healthy life, and these efforts are, however, not limited to just government's own. The Fijian government has consistently advocated a partnership approach in dealing with health issues that affect the community. Effective partnership and working in collaboration with the industry is the most effective way to find solutions. We have established a strong and healthy partnership with the Fijian food and beverages manufacturers to address the issues of NCDs. To achieve the best results, we need to ensure that we have everyone that is part of the equation, consumers, health authorities, and manufacturers, on the same table, providing solutions to the key problem of NCDs. The Fijian food industry is committed to a plan of action that will support the reduction of NCDs in Fiji and have already carved a way forward in this regard. To date, the Fiji Beverage Group has entered into a comprehensive memorandum of understanding which outlines the actions of the industry. Furthermore, a group of noodle manufacturers, a commonly eaten food in Fiji, have set down goals for sodium reduction in their product range. Other sector groups such as breads and canned fish and meats are also advancing their plans. It is important to remember that because consumers are used to particular tastes and price points, these changes need to be done incrementally. Ladies and gentlemen, whilst the government can do its utmost to put in place a policy framework that discourages unhealthy products, these measures would be ineffective if consumers continue to purchase unhealthy products instead of the healthy options. Similarly, if these measures continue to target domestic producers and not apply to imported foods and beverages, then again, such measures will be ineffective as consumers will easily switch to foreign substitutes, which could be more unhealthy and of a low standard. For example, despite high taxes on cigarettes and mandatory labeling outlining the effect of cigarettes, the sale of cigarettes has actually not reduced. Consumers are found asking for packets with unborn babies, thinking that the cigarette is of a lower strength, whilst many prefer the cancer lungs as it is considered stronger. The above is a clear intention of the lack of awareness on the labeling requirements or the risks associated with smoking. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to be more aware of these dangers. It is my ministry's prerogative to do so much work, and we must work together on this. Ladies and gentlemen, the Fijian government's efforts in consumer protection is not limited to addressing the issues of NCDs. Consumer protection in general is the responsibility of every government. As stated earlier, laws and institutions to this effect are in place. However, justice delayed is justice denied. We are mindful of the fact that consumers are required to go through the normal court processes. And let me assure you that my ministry is working on strengthening consumer protection regime through the establishment of a consumer tribunal. The consumer tribunal will be a mechanism that will enable quicker redress. Consumers will not have to wait for the lengthy court process. In order to support the mechanism, a consumer protection law is being considered which would set the procedures for the tribunal. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, I encourage you as consumers to be prudent and take responsibility for your own actions in your homes and as businesses. At the same time, I urge retailers to act fairly and with honesty towards their customers. It is only through their collaborative and partnership approach we can ensure that consumers' rights are protected and promoted. Ladies and gentlemen, remember, life is precious. I wish you well with the liberation.